Hello and welcome to Roll For It. This is our new channel where we'll be streaming every week, same time. We're going to be playing some Shadowrun RPG. So Shadowrun, for those of you who don't know, is like a post-cyberpunk kind of urban fantasy setting where magic's come back to the world. There are a lot of mega corporations, and there are people, orcs, trolls, elves, and dwarves, who are in theory are all equal, but there's also a lot of racism going on. And we're going to be playing this with Shenrir, Steejo, Avak, and Splattercat. So, do you want to go over your characters first? Bear in mind, in the future, we will have some character art and like an intro to the characters. We don't have them yet, so I'm still waiting on getting the art back. So, we're going to do a quick introduction so people know who you are. Avak, Pseudo, do you want to go first?
Sure, what do you want me to say? Other than my handle is Suro. You practically gave him the best bit of the information. That's an awesome name. I can't top that. Everything else that comes after that is a disappointment.
Well, that's true. What does your character do? What is your role in the group?
He mostly sends funny images over augmented reality and gets
he does.
the other characters to snicker at inappropriate times. Also, starts fights that he is not going to be able to finish. He does that too. He is a technomancer, for those who are not aware. And a technomancer is someone who is, how should we say, connected to the Matrix in a much more, in a deeper way than like a Decker. He's not hacking using programs and software. He just kind of thinks it, and it just kind of happens. Sometimes it happens the wrong way. And sometimes a Decker comes along and tries to brick his brain, which is not good. And that's him in a nutshell.
That sounds pretty nasty.
Yeah, brick brains. Don't recommend.
Okay, Steejo, Kaber.
Yes, I am Kaber. I am the elf, the face of the group, which also means I'm the best looking, the most charismatic, and generally the go-to leader of the group. That's about right, yeah? Just awesome in every single possible way.
Small print, biggest douche of the group.
Yes. Now that's accurate.
Okay, and
what else do you expect?
You're an elf with a little bit of magic, aren't you?
Yes, I am a magic adept. So got a bit of magic, not mostly just like, get people drunk with a touch, and I've got a bit of healing magic, but other than that, pretty useless.
Where did this come from? Get people drunk with a touch.
Yes, you've not seen that yet. Just you wait.
Oh dear.
My mind is full of the reasons why someone would learn such a spell, and they're not good.
Okay, Shen, Pug.
Sure, my character is Pug. He is a troll with human parents, and he's kind of leftover. His parents went to Japan, went to work for a big megacorp, and the racism there was just too much. The corp actually tried to get him killed, and his parents figured a good negotiating spot would be to have him sent back to Britain, where he can just sit in their fancy posh house and live a nice lifestyle, as long as he stays out of the frickin' way. But since he has so much free time on his hands, he got some rough spots and got beat up and started beating people up as well. And he tends to bring some muscle to the group. He's not very bright, but he can speak his way out of a problem sometimes. He tends to get himself in a lot of trouble, though. He runs headfirst into a lot of problems.
Also grenades.
So many shenanigans. And
he runs away from those grenades, especially the ones that you accidentally turn on.
Yeah, that was my bad.
Okay, and lastly, Splattercat, Blowback. Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah. My character is Carmine Bishop, known as Blowback in the Shadows. Essentially, I'm the driver and like the engineering guy. Like if you have anything like that is analog, I'll take care of it. I drive the car. And on top of that, I got samurai skills, so I got guns and all kinds of other stuff just in case it's needed. I tend to be like throwing lots of shots out there and fighting alongside Shen this entire time, or alongside Pug. But that's pretty much my deal. Lots of explosives, lots of engineering, and mostly just driving the vehicle, the getaway car, so that we can get away nice and clean, not get caught.
Okay, and you're a dwarf.
I am. It's pretty good. It lets me get a view that's lower down to the ground. See, everybody else likes to focus from like the high view downwards. I get down low and I look upwards, and so I catch angles. I also find lots of nickels, so that's pretty sweet.
That is exactly how that works.
Yeah. Plus 5 new yen.
In a world where currency is entirely digital. Oh, those nickels.
Okay, so we're going to dive straight in now. Bear in mind that the setting for this is London in 2078. Big mega corporations, most dominant the globe. National governments really aren't as important anymore. The reason that mega corporations allow them to exist is because they don't want to take out the trash. London in 2078 is a place that's been increasingly privatized. More recently, corporations have been allowed a little bit more power, and the government is selling off a load of assets, and it's kind of a free-for-all. And we get back to our runners in London. So, I believe... Who is Jake Eckhard? That would be Kaber.
Yes.
You get a call one lovely evening from Jake Eckhard, your fixer. Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
Breaking social rules, man.
Hey, chummer, how's it going?
Hey, hello there, Kaber. How are you doing today?
Okay, the noob. I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. How are you?
Not bad. I got a job going if you're interested. It's well paying.
All right, send the details over to me then, and I'll have a wee look.
Okay. Ends the call, and over comes a full, quite large text message which goes over the details about what this person is looking for. Really, it's just mostly stuff like, you need to be, experienced runner, blah, 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 able to keep up with, keep your mouth quiet, etc. It's one of these normal, you'd expect them from almost a corporate type Johnson looking to employ a group like you. Basically says, if you're interested, then you need to, send a text message to this comm number. It's not listed anywhere. It's not attached to an obvious name. And then you need to wait, and then you'll get a meeting offered. It says, effectively, they're looking for someone to do a job towards the end of the week, so 5 to 7 days' time, you expect. And they say they'll be paying well with a part up front and most afterwards pay cut.
All right, so I'll just send them a message to the number, and basically tell them that Jake got in touch, said that you're looking for someone who can sort some stuff out for you.
Okay. Barely 5 minutes go by, and you get a message back saying, by the way, what is that club you have? You've got a club owner as a contact. Can't remember the name of his club.
The club is Cargo in West Ham.
Yeah. So you get a message
Still
saying,
contact?
VIP room, Cargo, ask Mr. Johnson. 9 p.m. today. Now, the time at the moment is probably about midday-ish.
All right. I'll forward the details on to Pseudo and Blowback, and with a little bit at the end to say, let the troll know.
All right, I'll forward the message to the troll.
Okay, so we'll get a message saying, meet at Cargo VIP room, 9 p.m. Ask Mr. Johnson.
Living that VIP life, moving on up.
Blowback gets a message from Pseudo with just the sort of regular point where he got picked up by Blowback last time, or rather where they met on the subway. Because if I recall, it's a little ways off, so he's just letting you know where he'll meet you. And also, the little secondary message there saying, how long do you think it's going to be before either the troll kills Kaber or Kaber kills Pug?
I sent a message back to Avik saying it'll depend on how long it takes the elf to get his hair done, in all honesty. And then I sent a message on over to Kaber, and I'm going to ask him, do you guys want me to pick you up in the van, or did we want to take the tube over there and just meet on our own?
Well, I mean, like, you won't need to pick me up. Like, I'm going to send you a message back saying, like, you won't need to pick me up because the club's in West Ham and I'm in West Ham, so give the other guys a shout, see if they need a lift.
Cool. I forward a message to everybody else, seeing if they want pickup or if they want to take public transport.
Pseudo replies, like, straight away, yeah, sure, pick me up if you're going to bring the van.
Okay.
Prefer not to be around loads of people.
Puggity pug, what do you want, man? You picking me up? Huh? Am I picking you up? What's going on here? We're going to be friends tonight. We're going to have adventures.
Oh, I can't wait to get in the misery van, just as long as that stupid elf ain't there.
The misery mobile. All right. And so it's all set up. I'm going to pick everybody up in the van from where I'm at. around, I don't know. EE, how long does it take to get from where I'm at? I think I was down in Westway, or actually west out in Westway. So how long would it take to go from Westway over to, where was it that the club is at?
It's West over Ham. West Ham, yeah. Just outside of Chelsea. So,
okay.
Let me just draw on the map for you.
Cool.
By the way, when Kaber sent over the details, how much info did he send?
It was a straight up forward, mate.
So just the contact number, everything about it?
Yeah, okay. The details that Jake sent me and the details that I got back from the Johnson.
Okay.
Oh, he's in West Ham, not the West End?
Yes, West Ham.
Okay. That'll be...
Yeah, and I'd be in Westway, I guess, with my little tokeny guy.
There you go.
There. Perfect. I can drag and drop like a champ. I play video games on the internet. I know how to do this.
In which case, you're looking to go a fair distance. You're looking at a few kilometers across the center of London, so you're probably going to want to start a little bit early. Streets aren't going to be crazy packed towards 9 o'clock, but you should probably start early. You know this because you've already got knowledge London streets, so you probably know that the traffic's not going to be great at that time. It's not going to be terrible, but you're certainly going to have quite a wait if you're going to go via van.
All right, roll for road rage. Everybody roll for road rage.
That'd be a composure roll.
All right, okay. So I load the van up with all the normal sundries, so I'd like to assume that we all have, like, all of our various gear. You guys gave me permission to have, like, all the weapons in the back of the van and stuff like that. And so I'm going to send a text out to everybody. Did we want to meet up in pregame beforehand, or did we just want to wait until the meet? I can pick everybody up a couple hours ahead of time and just kind of do the rounds of London. It's all up to you guys. Team effort and all that. High fives and handshakes and hugs.
Pseudo sends back a message like, I'm not coming out of my chameleon suit. I don't think that's exactly going to be low key. I'm just going to be coming out in a duster and some just regular clothes. I'm probably not even going to bring a gun.
Okay.
We're just going to meet a Johnson at a club.
All right.
Anything more than that, I'd probably seen a little bit OTT.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to send a message saying we're meeting a Johnson. Don't come packed.
Okay. All right then. I will forward that message to the troll.
How do you tell a dwarf not to bring his weapons? How do you do that?
Dude, you're troll. Your fists are your weapons.
And my axe. That's all I have, and now I don't have and my axe. It's all.
Oh.
Here in Elves is shit.
I'll be coming with my holdout anyway, and my jacket because it's got a concealed holster. So.
Okay.
So while we're on the way,
yeah,
Pseudo's going to do a quick matrix search on the number, on the contact number the cable was given.
Sure. Make a what would it be? Just matrix search.
Computer intuition.
Matrix search.
Yeah. Righto.
Come on, dice, hot dice. I know you gotta blow on them though. Do you blow like where? If you're rolling digital dice, where do you blow? You don't do like right here. Do you like mic, or do we definitely?
There's a bare minimum of blowing involved.
Just don't blow on the mic.
You have to blow the enter key.
Zero volume.
Yeah. And intuition would be 5 as well. No, this is just matrix perception. So, matrix search. Don't get any bonus dice.
So, for those of you who don't know, in this universe, the internet has been replaced with the Matrix after the original internet crashed. So, what Avik is trying to do right now, using his character Pseudo, is to basically search on the internet, the Matrix, and see if he can find any evidence of this comm number or who it belongs to.
Yeah,
it's just doing a Google.
Yeah, pretty much. What's the limit for this? Would it be my
data processing? I imagine
for something like this.
Oh, it's normally a data processing, so that would be logic for Technomancer.
Righto. So that would be my limit. Fair enough. 5 successes.
5 successes. You find that this comlink is part of a batch of medium-grade comlinks belonging to a Russian-owned subsidiary of one of the communication giants. It was stolen off the back of a truck, effectively out of a warehouse, a few months ago, along with a case of about 500 other ones. They've been registered missing. No one knows who they belong to. It's assumed that they were picked up by someone like organized crime or big wholesaler who just went under the radar to nick a load of comlinks. The important thing for you would be that normally when like someone nicks a whole crap ton of comlinks to be able to, basically use as like duds, normally they'd go for cheapy ass ones because, well, you can like steal a lot more because they're generally less security or whatever. But these are sort of your medium tier. For gaming purposes, they're probably rating 4 comlinks.
Okay. So that was actually quite a lot of new yen if they took out quite a few hundred of them. That was a big heist. That didn't fall out of the back of the truck. That was pushed.
Oops! I found 500 cell phones in a box on the side of the road. Where the fuck could those have come from?
So what a lucky day.
I'll just quickly explain to you at home. A comlink is basically like your mobile phone, except like even more powerful. It does everything for you. It's also the central hub of all your wireless gear you might have on you. So, for instance, your gun might have an ammo counter, which will feed into your comlink. Your comlink will then tell the holographic display in your glasses how many bullets you have. So, yeah, comlinks are pretty much everything. But in this purpose, we're talking about it mainly for the com code. I understand a lot of people here are fairly new to Shadowrun, so I will try and explain a few things as we go through, at least in the first few episodes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, while we're all... while you guys are heading over to West Ham, I'm going to get on my comlink, and I'm going to give Kevin a phone, the owner of the club.
Okay.
So, bring.
Going to be an interesting call.
Bring. Bring.
So does the person calling always do the ringing, or does the person receiving the call do the ringing? Because I want to impersonate a phone too at some point.
He's not going to answer, and we know why.
Yes, we do.
Bring.
For all intents and purposes, he does not answer the comlink. You get a chance to leave a message. It rings on for a few times. It goes, "Hello, you've reached Kevin Earnshaw, managing proprietor and owner of Club Cargo in West Ham. If you want to leave a message for me, please do so over the tone, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible." Boop.
Hey, Kevin, it's Kaber. You might want to start picking up your phone, because I might have been phoning you to give you your money back. I'm not. What I could have been. So, the next time, pick up the fucking phone. Bye-bye.
So, for those of you watching at home, we had a practice run where we're just learning mechanics, and for all intents and purposes, a shootout happened outside Club Cargo after Kaber convinced Kevin to let him use it as a meeting point, and then got him into a little bit of hot water with the police, and now Kaber owes Kevin about, was it 1.5? No, it was 2 grand. 2 grand Noyen. Noyen being the currency in this universe.
New yen.
Yes.
Although, it wasn't really my fault. Because I didn't let off any explosives.
Wasn't your fault.
It wasn't my fault.
I'd like to point out that those explosives were purely reactive. Pug and I were just trying to defend the group from harm. They were trying to shoot us, and so we decided to shoot more effectively.
I was on a roof, Pseudo says,
behind the wall
to the rest of the group.
Anyway.
Sure, you can justify it however you want. Okay, so does anyone do anything else before the meet?
I'm pretty set up with everything I got to go. I'm gonna bring. I mean, I'm just kidding out. That's pretty much all that's going on for me.
Okay.
Evans.
Pseudo is going to. Pseudo's going to invoke the machine sprite Bite, and he's going to task it with one of its tasks to run diagnostics on his comlink.
Okay. So, what happens
I'll roll
is
diagnostics when he uses it.
Sure. So, effectively, a technomancer can call in sprites, which are effectively like essence from the machine, like there's sort of this consciousness, vague idea of a program that's also semi-independent, put together from like the stuff of the Matrix, basically like almost like a temporary AI, and he can then task it to do things. So he's just tasked it to basically improve his comlink while he's using it. That is basically one of the things
I'll roll
Technomancer
the
needs a
dice
lot.
closer to the time, because we're going to have to remember what the dice roll is. So
yeah. How long will he stick around for?
He's a registered sprite. He'll stay there till eternity on one task.
Okay.
He'll just hang around until if I go offline, he'll just sit there and continue trying to improve it.
Okay.
until something comes along and tries to kill him, which will eventually happen.
Okay, sure. So, anyone else want to do anything before you hit the club?
All right,
I'll send a text to the elf telling him to start doing his hair early. Just like I realized the other conversation was in confidence, but I am kind of serious here. He needs to be gelled up and ready to go by the time we arrive. None of this like 15 minutes late stuff. Just to look cute.
Gotta look good, man.
Fair enough. Right.
Well,
so
what else? And one other thing Pseudo is going to do, he's going to change the icon of his comlink. He's going to change it from a blue defender to a metalink icon.
Okay.
He's going for the cheapest
one,
of the cheap looking icons. Yeah, this comlink's going to look like utter drag.
Okay. Good to know. Right. So if you're on your way, that means I would like Blowback. Would you kindly make a vehicle check? So basically, to do this, you have to add your reaction plus your vehicle skill, except for the fact that I'm not requiring you to like drive quickly or anything. I just want you to figure out the traffic. So if you could do an intuition plus vehicle skill.
Intuition plus vehicle skill.
So,
let's see here.
Dice pools in Shadowrun basically work by rolling a load of 6-sided dice. So you add normally two things. You add an attribute and a skill. So we've added intuition, which is a skill, an attribute, and vehicle skill, which is a skill. And we get a dice pool of 10d6, and anything of a 5 or above is a hit. So we've got one hit. We've literally got 1 6 in that. You didn't fail though. You didn't glitch. You didn't critical glitch, which happens when you get a lot of ones. We'll go into that when it happens. You're fine. You get there on time. You didn't get a massive margin. You end up there like 10 minutes early because you said you're planning off setting in plenty of time, but you didn't get there late or anything. It was a little bit hairy of some traffic moment, but you're fine.
Yeah, few occasions. Pseudo's knuckles were starting to get whiter and whiter as he was holding onto the dashboard. Starting to look ever more panicked.
It goes with his nickname. He's called the White Knuckler. That's what they call him out there in West Ham. Watch out for that elf. He's the White Knuckler.
Yep, that's totally his nickname.
He's now an elf as well. Oh no!
He just has anxiety. That's all.
Sure.
Okay. So we're at our destination.
So you pull up. You find a useful parking spot. It's not too near, but at least it's got some streetlights nearby. So you're probably not going to get your rim stolen. Maybe. West Ham isn't too bad. It's not south of the river, so you're probably okay. South of the river, yeah. Goodbye, rims. But yeah, you get out, and you can already hear this sort of vague club music thumping in the background. You're already getting, like, random, like, passers-by offering you tickets and entry to certain places popping up in your AR vision. So in the future, everyone has AR vision, so a lot of their stuff pops up in your vision, in your contact lenses and stuff, offering you, contacts, mobile phones, adverts, etc. So everyone right now
wearing
is
his goggles.
Oh, hell no, I don't need to see that shit.
Pug doesn't see any of that. Pug's just like
He's off
chilling.
the grid.
He doesn't have any sort of vision enhancement except for his goggles, which he doesn't have on. So everyone else is getting these advertisement banner flyers and saying, 2-for-1 drinks at, Cargo tonight, etc. Blah 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 blah. And there's also, a lot of slightly more seedy things. People see you and they're like, "Those are dodgy people." Do you want to score some crash, etc.
You want to score some crash?
Oh, Bob.
Oh, poor Bob.
Poor Bob.
I hope you're using this run. But yeah, basically you get up to cargo and you notice there is a 5-minute queue to get in. You've got about 8 minutes before your meeting, so you're going to just wait in line. Be fine.
I'm not waiting in line. Are you mad?
Got the
We
hook
go
up.
to the that's it, man. We go up to the bouncer and be like, "All right, man, we're on the list."
All right, so the bouncer, an orc wearing a bit of suit, quite muscly, sort of. You can see the seams of his suit are a little bit, bulking at it. It's sort of, you can see the thread straining. He looks sort of down very briefly, like, he's looking into his AR vision list that he's already got up. What's the name?
Caber.
I've got it on my list here that you're not allowed in. Unless you bring 2009 for the boss.
What's the device rating of the device that he's using, his AR?
You can see quite easily. I mean, standing right near him, you can see his comlink. It's a rating 3 comlink, one of the latest Apple knockoffs.
Oh God, Apple managed to get there.
Apple are owned by Ares Macro Technology.
Oh, that makes me sad. That makes me sad in my pants. Right.
I'm sorry, sir. Unless you have the money you owe, Mr. Earnshaw. I was going to pronounce that wrong for a moment. Mr. Earnshaw, I'm afraid you're not allowed in. Your friends can go in.
His own boss.
Yeah! Going to the club!
He kind of puts his hand out lower down to kind of stop the dwarf. His dwarf, is kind of happy. He's like, you will have to pay for entry, though.
What?
Love.
Oh, that's just nasty. That is.
The cat just bit my nipple. What the fuck? Outside interference.
This mangy cat sort of scrolls off to the distance, quite pleased with itself. The bouncer nearby looks at you guys and says, well, if you're not going in, he waves some people behind you forwards.
Okay, I'm going to use Resonance Veil on his comlink and try to tell her that it's just received notification that the bill has been paid.
Okay, that's an opposed test, isn't it?
Resonance Veil is versus intuition and data processing to dispel it, but only if it suspects that it's. I think it's if. Oh no, sorry. It needs a matrix perception test. If it works, then he has to suspect that it's an illusion because it'll be a completely convincing illusion.
Okay.
And he'd have to succeed a matrix perception test.
So his comlink is currently actually tethered to the host at the club. Mm-hmm. So the club is going to substitute its matrix perception.
Mm-hmm.
So I will dice off with you.
Okay.
All for it.
I have 3 successes.
Yeah, we got to do the catchphrase. Roll for it.
I am rolling this at a level 4. We will go with software resonance. No assist. Level 4. 3 successes. Damn it.
Would you like to edge?
No.
Okay,
No.
so in the case of a tie, defender effectively wins. So effectively, Pseudo's just tried to convince the comlink that something's happened in the Matrix and that it's got a notification through saying that the bill had been paid. However, it spotted that it was being sent jumbled code. I'm going to go check if they spot that there is a Technomancer around, which is unlikely.
They can't, unless they are a resonance entity.
They can see there's something that they need to start checking out.
They can see that something's happened, but they don't know what it is.
Yeah, you can see that the host has sent a notification back, and it looks like that there is a mark saying they're waiting a security response. From your knowledge of the Matrix, you know that basically a Matrix spider is on his way to have a look at what could be going on over here, just passing. They don't have one in-house, so one's coming along.
What's the plan now, gents? Do we pay the guy, or what do you all want to do?
I'm going to try and phone Kevin again.
Okay.
Bring.
Right, Kevin's loyalty is 2, connection 4. I would like you to roll your negotiation plus charisma minus 2.
I thought you and Kevin were like homies. I didn't realize you guys were only at 2. Oh no, you lost one last time, didn't you?
No, he was 2 question mark.
No. Oh, 2 question mark.
The question mark he's not picking up at the moment. Minus
2.
4, sorry. Because it's his connection. He might be too busy to talk to you.
Not asked.
It does ring on a few times. And then All right, Kayla, what do you want?
Hey, Kevin, your big pile of meat is stopping me getting in the club.
Yeah, I ordered him to.
Why?
You got my 2Gs yet?
Well, I can't get your 2Gs. I'm supposed to be coming into your club to meet a Mr. Johnson. How am I going to earn money if I can't meet a Mr. Johnson because you're not letting me in your club?
Debtor's prison. It's a bitch.
Make a persuasion roll at -1. Because he's currently a little bit wary of you. By the way, chat, if the audio levels are off, do give us a shout. We're still trying to work out all the technological things here and there. 2 successes.
The dice
Okay,
are not hot today.
I'll let you in if you'll pay some of it up front. You still owe me the 2 grand. Pay it, quarter off now, and I'll waive your entry fee.
How much is entry fee? I've not been in this place and paid entry. Please.
Entry is 25.9 per head.
Alright, so you'll waive entry fee for me and my friends, and I'll pay you the 500 yen. That's fine.
Okay. You hear a pring on the comm link in front of you the bouncer's holding. Mr. Kaber, 500.
No problem. So I'll take out my cred stick and give him the 500 yen off of it.
Okay. You quickly slot it in your comm link and you send him wirelessly 500 yen.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaber. And associates, please enjoy your stay. He pulls this sort of AR cordon back and lets you guys past. And you head on in.
All right.
I flap my trench coat when I go by him like Batman. Just, nah. It doesn't hit him, though. Like, it's just kind of like an action. I just want it to be known. Just, blah. If you got the trench coat, you got to flap it every now and again. Like Samuel L. Jackson, just, just throw that thing.
Okay. Fair enough. So you head on inside. You get in, flapping your trench coat all over the place.
Yeah.
I just imagine like a kid with it like over his head pretending he's Batman.
Making airplane noises, just flying around.
Yeah.
Dude.
A couple of people nearby give you some strange looks. There is like a dwarf with a trench coat over his head going, yeah. They think it's a child.
He's
just
going,
because of the
yeah.
height and the fact you've got the trench coat over your head. They don't know. They actually do think you're a child.
Roll disguise.
But you go on in. There's basically 2 floors to this place, and then there's the 3rd floor, which is a VIP lounge at the top with a sort of spiral staircase going up the center. The 1st floor is a bit more laid back. The 2nd floor is sort of a more sort of rave club type atmosphere, and the top is a very kind of reserved area, reserved for members only and people who pay a huge amount of Noyen up front.
Let's head upstairs.
Yeah, we got a meeting to go to.
Yep.
Okay. Bearing in mind, by the way, you are now running about a minute or 2 behind.
No!
So you start rushing upstairs as fast as you can without being too conspicuous. Club is sort of bouncing into you here and there. A couple of people just almost spilling drinks over you. You sort of weave between them as fast as possible. And you get up to the spiral staircase, up to the top. And you are met by another fairly intimidating bouncer. This one, a fairly stocky dwarf. One who you can see sort of muscles flexing underneath his suit. He looks up at you. All right, gents. And looks you up and down. You can see that he is definitely looking at your shoes and your attire, and he looks a little bit suspicious. Can I help you?
I'm a badass. Yes, we're here to meet Mr. Johnson, as it would be in the VIP area.
What's the name?
Eber.
Immediately, Kaber gets
1 second, my headset just gave up.
Confused about your name, man. Kaber? That vocal trail.
Man, that fucking name is getting me so
What's
many
your name?
issues.
Sijo?
We've lost our GM. Yay! Quick, let's change the rules. I think we've actually lost our
We're
GM.
experiencing technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
Nice.
Plot against
Yeah,
him
take
quickly.
that.
Plot
My
against him.
trail didn't not work. I just misdirected it at your headphones.
So
You
yeah,
now
what,
believe
what,
it,
did you,
right?
what did you just misdirect at my headphones?
You just glitched them out.
He made like a 5 roll. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, so what were you saying?
My name is Kaber. Hello. Let me in.
Ah, redo.
Okay, I think you're in booth 2B, if you would, sir.
Thank you very much.
He unlocks the door. The door swings open. The sound of maglocks disengaging. And you go in and you notice there is sort of a soft, sort of almost velvet-like carpet.
Ooh.
Shoes have been taken off near the door.
Yeah, Suda's not waiting. He's got his shoe straight off.
Okay.
He's
So,
wiggling
like,
his
if I have-
toes.
If I have knowledge of like Japanese language, like I know like taking your shoes off is like really popular. Is that like what we're leaning towards here? Can I check for that, or am I just gonna clomp in with my shoes on? Like, how do I verify whether or not my character's dumb like that?
Make
How
an
do you
etiquette
not
roll.
see stuff that's at your eye level?
Fine,
That'll
I
be
see the
charisma
height
plus,
check.
charisma plus etiquette.
Shouldn't have asked. I'm just gonna take a cue from Pseudo and take my shoes off anyways, not understanding the situation.
Also,
Yeah, I'll
Blowback,
I'll
did
have
you
my
say
shoes
you're
off.
wearing your pistol?
No, I wasn't gonna. I didn't actually specify at all. I said everything was in the van, and so I
Okay.
guess I'm just gonna say.
Is
no
anyone
now.
else
I'm gonna
here
be
wearing
variable.
anything offensive? Kaba, you've got your...
I've got my holdout.
holdout in a concealed holster,
Yes.
-6 dice pool. As you walk through the double doors, you see that the guy behind you turns around, the stocky dwarf, reaches down and pulls out his pistol, has it casually at his side, but you know from experiencing these kind of professional people before that he could quite easily level at you any moment. Sir, are you carrying a weapon?
No.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I'm carrying a weapon.
Do we kindly give it to me,
At this
sir?
point, only Pugs and Blowback get a message from Pseudo on their comm links just saying, we really need to find ourselves a new face.
That's what I was gonna say. How did we find this guy in the first place? Holy crap!
He's gonna get his blown off. He's no longer going to have the things that we require.
Yes, you can have my gun.
Okay, you pull it out and give it to him. Sure.
Hand over my Colt new model revolver.
He pockets it and he says, "I'll be waiting for you with this ticket." Small AR ticket appears in your view, and slides into your inventory at the front desk. And
Thanks,
please,
buddy.
sir, do not try that again.
You don't got it.
You can also tell that he is, judging by his eye movements, he's just added you to some sort of list.
I was probably on it. to be fair.
Your name's
Probably
in red
were.
and shit too.
Okay.
At this point, Pseudo actually speaks up, which is a bit uncommon because he usually just communicates only through text, the comments, and literally just turns to Cave and says, "Stop fucking around and let's get inside and speak to this Johnson. We're already like 15 minutes late."
Yeah,
Yes,
you are
sorry.
about 5-8 minutes late, somewhere about that now.
There goes our bargaining power. We're done for.
Okay, so you take off your shoes, you walk in, you notice there is a number of different rooms off to the side. Some of them are quite well shielded, some of them are draped off sort of walls, and some of them are just booths. The one you've been directed to, 2B, you walk past 2 others on the way in, one of which has some pretty lively men and women in there. Behind a drape, and the other one of which has a privacy screen, and from what you can tell, probably has some sort of sound dampening quality going on inside, because you cannot hear a single thing in there, despite being able to see vague shadows. You get to 2B,
Can Pseudo see any devices?
you can see lots of
note.
devices, but there is a noise dampening field in here for wireless devices. You can see them because your resonance is high enough. I won't make you roll because it doesn't really matter too much. You will get hits, knowing you. But there is at least a rating 2 dampening field in here. However, you notice that the 2B you go up to, you cannot see inside 2B. 2B is
It's conspicuously blank.
It is a metal box. There is no wireless device coming from inside it. And from what you can tell, it looks like it has... Most of its facilities are internal. The door's closed.
Okay. Right, before we go in, Suda just holds up a hand just to slow everyone else, and then just sort of... His eyes lose focus for a moment, and he summons his second machine sprite. This one is Bit, and he immediately tasks it, help me thread any complex form I attempt to thread.
Okay.
It's the only command he's given it.
What does Bit look like? It's the one that just goes yes, no, just like Tron, right?
Yes. That is literally what Bit looks like.
So Bit, this tiny little sort of geometric shape that's constantly shifting, appears and goes, yes. And then just goes into your comlink and just sits there waiting to help.
Okay. I'm going to make a perception check.
Sure.
While we're in the room, just for whatever.
Intuition plus perception. There is some glare going on from sort of strobing lights, mostly coming from down below. A little bit of fog and a lot of noise, so I'll put you at -1 for this.
Okay.
Luckily, your thermographic vision does tend to cut through some of that. 4 successes. What do you particularly want to look for?
Just anything that strikes me as suspicious. Like, I guess my character's got an engineering focus, so any sort of, like, reinforcement to the room, any sort of, like, security.
You notice a couple of things. Firstly, you notice that the room itself looks like it has steel beams and then corrugated steel reinforcement through it, judging by what you'd assume of, the thickness of the walls it looks like, and the fact that when you brush against them, you notice that they are vaguely hollow. So it looks like it is fairly tough and has been designed to be able to take a fair amount of impact, but it's mainly designed probably so that it has some sort of internal structure inside these walls. Normally, you'd know from sort of knowledge that generally these are filled with stuff like astral barriers or matrix dampening material, or even just insulation sometimes, or even something like a Kevlar weave to be able to stop fragments of shrapnel passing through. They tend to be used in like corp facilities, etc., for containment facilities and stuff. Low-level containment facilities, at least. You also notice on 4 hits that the people in the 1A across and back from you 1 have sort of stopped moving via their shadows. It looks like maybe they are looking in your direction. You can't really tell very easily because the place is sound dampened and has a pretty heavy curtain around it, but vaguely from their shadows you get the feeling that they are watching you.
Is that where the nice dancing's coming from?
No, that was the other one.
I'm going to cast a spell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cast Detect Enemies.
Okay.
So
that detects anyone with hostile intentions, doesn't it?
Or anyone preparing an ambush, yeah.
That's a good spell.
It's directed deliberately at you, so anyone with hostile intentions towards you.
Towards me, yeah. Which is probably 90% of this club, to be honest. 1 success.
1 success. What do I roll to resist? Okay, I think it's probably intuition plus willpower, I guess. I'd have to double check. I will do this secretly.
Your brain explodes.
So,
good job.
I'm not going to metagame. I'll roll my resist drain. Yeah.
Okay. You do not spot anyone with hostile intentions towards you. You sort of focus for a minute. You sort of bring your inner energy up and you let it funnel through you and out in a sort of sphere around you, sort of passing over the psyche of people. And if they have sort of any knowledge of you and their attitude is sort of hostile in that intent, it should resonate off them. You do not find anyone of that description.
Okay.
Certainly not the dwarf that took your gun.
You do sense a little bit that the troll near you maybe has some vague hostile intentions. They are very, they're not immediate.
Oh, really? Right.
But there is certainly some bitterness directed at you.
Someone in so I need to pull this up. Someone in chat just said, so in Stejo's case, detect enemies is basically detect life. Yes.
Yeah,
pretty much.
in a nutshell, yeah.
That's exactly the same
About
spell.
right.
You're not wrong. You're really not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For someone who's so lovable.
So you're outside the store. We're about 8 minutes late, 9 minutes late.
Let's go in.
We'll go in.
Okay, you open the door and you walk in, and instantly you notice that two things. Firstly, there's a troll there sitting in a very expensive suit. We're talking, easily, $5,000 Noyen, easy. And also there is a human sitting by him, fairly muscled, obviously packing because he has a pistol out on his knee. Not sure how he got in here, but he does. And the troll is sipping from some sort of very small shot glass, which looks almost like a thimble in his hands. It's tiny. And this guy, he looks a lot like Pug, except for the fact that he is maybe a little bit slimmer, maybe not quite as muscled as Pug.
You're calling Pug fat.
No, I'm calling Pug ripped. Pug isn't actually ripped for a troll. He is augmented to be ripped. But, yeah.
Shredded even. Just,
The troll looks up from his thimble. Puts it down. Very measured sort of look at you. And this very slight half sigh. Which one of you is Kaba?
That would be me.
And the rest of your friends?
This is Blowback, Pseudo.
Steve.
I do a little like mini half bow, like just kind of like a nod.
Okay. Once you sit down,
Pseudo looks visibly frustrated at that. Doesn't say anything.
Need to let me know.
However, Kaba's comlink is currently just filling with all kinds of spam. Every sort of spam imaginable.
Just to say, Pseudo, you have, because you're effectively the tech wizard of the group, everyone gave you admin rights to their stuff.
Yeah.
Did you just disable the firewall?
On his comlink?
Yep.
I did not just disable the firewall on his comlink. No.
What did you do to get the spam? Did you just effectively push loads of notifications his way?
I just signed him up for spam. Literally went to the site and gave them authorization to send him spam.
And turned his spam filter down a notch without removing the thing entirely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically I made it possible for the spam to get through. I didn't shut down the defense to his comlink.
Okay. For gaming purposes, I'll say that temporarily his firewall is down by 1, but you've deliberately targeted it through that 1 notch.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm trying to annoy him, not get him geeked, basically.
Yeah. Kaba, your vision starts filling with all these pop-ups saying, last longer, you can get 10-inch longer, more now. Dancing girls, you want them, they're here. And lots of other repeated spam like that.
Like there's some sort of Arabian that's giving me this spam.
It's all different types. London's a very metropolitan area.
Of princes from that area who are promising you amazing New Year deals.
Yeah, you get this immediate comm message saying, "Oh, I have been left money in my home country, but I'm unable to get it up. If you send me £100 to be able to get into bank account."
I'm sure that if he used the money, he'd be able to get it up. Just saying. Anyway, right. Fucking close all the spam.
You're closing it. Right. It's just coming up as quickly as you close it.
No, more is coming through.
Yeah.
He flat out is not going to be able to react fast enough.
Kaba, how do you control your AR, by the way? Do you use AR gloves, or have you ever Troden that? You have AR gloves, don't you?
I've got AR gloves.
So Kaba right now is going like this in front of the Johnson, who is
God
just.
Damn it! Why do I hang out with you guys? This team.
The Kaba is literally doing this, right? This is effectively AR gloves are basically, they take the movements of your hands, project them onto this display that you have inside of your contact lenses. So Kaba is literally doing this for everyone at home right now in a business meeting in a cubicle with a very large troll Johnson sitting in front of him, drinking from a thimble. Are you okay? Do you need a minute?
I need Pseudo to quit it.
You can send that as a message, Pseudo, through your AR if you type it. Oh, you can sub-vocalize. Yes. You've got sub-vocal transmitter.
It stops.
So
It stops.
Pseudo's made his point.
You close the last ones. None more appear.
Hello. Sorry, I had.
Now, Blowback and
this
Pug
cheap comlink.
weren't actually privy to what was going on there, so they were looking very confused. To them, it looked like Cable had just gone crazy for a second.
We've seen it before. We know what Pseudo did.
Usually he gets shot, then he goes kind of crazy. But,
So while that's happening,
picks up the order.
The troll Johnson looks at Pug and Blowback in particular, and would you like a drink?
No, thank you for me.
Sure, I'll take a drink. What are you serving?
What would you like?
Single malt?
He nods to the human next to him. The human gets up, tucks a pistol back into his jacket, leans out the door, comes back in, shuts the door. And as he shuts the door, Pseudo, you feel a very alien feeling. You can no longer feel the Matrix.
Ooh.
You can feel the other devices around you, but they no longer have any external connection. As such, they no longer really operate as proper wireless devices because they have no data being fed into them. And the Matrix requires you having a large number of devices to be able to give you processing power.
Yeah.
Completely cut off right now. None of you have devices powerful enough to be able to penetrate what's just happened.
My brain is really powerful.
Yeah, roll your resonance ×2.
Okay. Just a straight up roll?
Yeah.
Oh, you wanted to hit?
It's okay. I can read hits off
1, 2,
that.
3.
3 hits. Yeah. You lose connection. I'm afraid you no longer have connection to the Matrix.
Darn.
As much as you try, it's like nope, not there. Just you cannot do it. It's like something on the tip of your tongue, but like 10 times worse. You just can't quite get there. You can feel there is some sort of vague energy from the radio transmissions and wireless signals and microwaves coming in, but by the time it gets in, it's just dispersed. There's no data there now.
Okay.
It's like having sort of voices muttering in the back of your mind, but not being able to bring them to the forefront. You can't actually get hold of anything. For you, this is very disconcerting. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he motions Cable in particular to sit down. Sit.
Thank you.
Do we have like a table? I mean, Troll's sitting down. What the heck's he sitting on?
Yeah, no. Basically, it's like a train compartment. There are two sofas effectively built in opposite each other, and then there is a table in between you, more coffee table sized height. I noticed that this coffee table is actually bolted to the ground as well.
Okay. Are they sitting across from each other, Caber and the other guy that he's negotiating with? Or are they sitting on the same couch talking, or like...
everyone's sitting opposite unless you say you deliberately want to go, like, sit right next to this guy.
And just rub his hair a little bit.
You wouldn't reach.
Even while he was sitting.
All right, I take the cue and I'll sit down on the couch too.
Okay. Simon sits down opposite?
Yeah, opposite. Alongside Steejo, I guess. I'm sorry, alongside Caber.
Okay.
I look for a place to sit, seeming quite distracted, like really just distracted. Looking around, a bit edgy, and like I'm not really focusing on what's going on. I'm hearing what people are saying, but I can't really pay attention to it.
All right, I'm fine standing here waiting for my drink, but I'm not going to sit down next to Mr. Caber. I'm going to grab Mr. Pseudo and make sure he gets sat down somewhere near Caber so he doesn't fall over or something.
Okay. He waits in silence for about 30 seconds. And then there's a knock on the door. The human gets up, walks up to the door, opens it, accepts a glass of what looks like a double of some sort of whiskey, closes the door, hands it to Pug, and sits down. The troll raises his thimble, which is now mostly empty, Downs the rest, puts it on the tray. Okay. I assume you guys have been given the initial briefing that I need you to do some work in the next 5 to 7 days.
Yep.
Now, firstly, I would like to sign this contract, and you notice that in all your vision, except for, obviously, Pugs, whose comlink beeps, because unfortunately it's got no way of showing you this via AR, so it just wants you to look at it via the screen on the comlink. A contract appears. It is a non-disclosure contract. It goes on for a lot of pages. The general gist of it, the TLDR on the front of the contract is, you will not discuss anything in this meeting. Nothing goes outside this meeting, especially if you choose not to carry out the contract. You will not discuss this meeting with anyone. And if you do, your lives, your bodies, your soul, all of your assets are forfeit, effectively. Does anyone have knowledge Shadowrunning or corporations or anything?
Not
I have got. Let me bring it up. Knowledge. I've got rumors, shadow community.
I've got personalities in the shadow community.
Yeah, Pseudo, you can roll that at -2 because it'll give you some knowledge of the shadow community stuff, but it's not massively.
That wasn't me. That was Gaber rolling.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
You said pseudo. My bad. my brain's not working just now.
Anyone else can roll a logic -1 if they choose, an intuition -1 if they choose the default.
I'll roll that.
Yeah, why not?
Pseudo got 3 successes. Blowback got 1. Kaber got 3. Right, so anyone with 3 successes or more, this is a fairly common type thing for big clients, Johnsons, notably quite often megacorps or corps, who want you to be quiet. For instance, say megacorps will get you to sign this, and they'll keep it temporarily. They will then get rid of it because they don't want any evidence once the job is done. These things, normally they don't like any evidence tying you to them, but sometimes they do want to have just a little bit of insurance to make sure, often with a new Shadowrun team, that they actually try to at least instill a little bit of maybe kind of fear to extent, or at least some sort of professionalism, accountability, by presenting you a contract. Even if, for all intents and purposes, it doesn't matter, they'll keep you anyway if you try and cross them. Normally, organized crime, etc. won't bother because there is that sort of implicit, yeah, if you screw us, we'll kill you. Megacorps at least trying to project professionalism or power by doing this. Do you want to sign the contracts?
I'm going to take a speed read of it and then say, like, oh, I thought this was implied anyway. I don't know why you need a contract.
You have speed reading, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, so it takes you about a minute. You can go through a good chunk of the contract in that time, skimming it for general stuff. And a lot of it is just legal jargon. A lot of it is just spelling out the certain points at which they can and can't do anything, blah, 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 blah. And from what you gather, it's basically meaningless because they wouldn't ever enforce this against the Shadowrunner team who talked about what they were asking you to do. Yeah. So, for all intents and purposes, they wouldn't want to bring up what they're going to offer you anyway. Yes, it is legally binding, but they're never going to enforce it.
Yeah.
Pseudo signs it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to sign it anyway.
Okay, seeing the elf sign it is enough for me. I go ahead and I sign it too.
Ditto.
Okay. He gets pings onto his comlink, looks down. Unfortunately, it looks like someone we want to have 3 walking around has been unfortunately picked up recently after entering the country. They are currently in the possession of Lone Star Security Services, and we would like them to not be. Now, they are actually being transferred between locations. They are coming into London for a pre-trial hearing. And during that period, there is a window in which there will be a chance to be able to set them free. He looks at all of you. No one says anything. So he says, effectively what I'm asking is a van heist.
Pseudo
you've got
is quiet at this point. He's just watching what other people do.
Okay.
Poor Pseudo.
So it's like, yeah, okay, you've got someone that's in Lone Star custody. Okay, is there anything else that we need to know? Like how much force are we looking at opposing here?
He shakes his head very briefly and says, from what we understand, they don't actually know who they have. Our party we're concerned about was not using their genuine sin at the time. It looks like they were picked up on a fake sin and are in the system as Valentin Koslov.
Okay. So
due to this fact,
while they're saying this,
Yeah.
I'm going to send a message to Pseudo and just say, what do you think?
What devices can Pseudo see right now?
You can see the devices
Sorry,
that you
yeah.
have. Yeah.
So I can still send messages back and forth even though we're not attached to the Matrix?
Yeah, you're connected to all the other devices
yeah.
in the room. But that will be
Okay.
it. And that's not enough to generate a proper amount of Matrix stuff to be able to give you normal Matrix bonuses. However, you can still send messages and stuff. That's perfectly fine. Comlinks are designed to do that.
Just making sure.
You can see the comlinks that you have. You cannot notably see any other comlinks or wireless devices. The Johnson opposite you definitely has a comlink. He got it out earlier. You presume he's running silent or has the wireless switched off.
Okay. Can I do a matrix perception?
Sure.
Okay. Just bring up my cheat sheet. That would be
+2 for being a
right,
technomancer.
matrix perception. Indeed, I was going to ask about that since you just mentioned that we didn't get that
You
right
will
now, but
be
that is
at
pretty good.
a -1 because you are very distracted right now with any Matrix actions. It's a very different environment.
Okay.
It's like being asked to paint with half a brush instead of a full easel worth of paints and brushes.
That's fantastic.
Scraping
Right.
woods down a canvas.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So that would be my data processing, which is logic.
Did it roll?
No, I'm just pushing it through now.
Okay.
I'm just giving the -1 that you were saying. Oh, actually, I need to give a +1 in total, sorry.
Three successes. Okay, yeah, you can see that he is wielding a comlink. You can see that his compatriot is wielding a comlink. And you also notice that he has a cognitive processor of some kind.
Okay.
All of which are running silent.
In reply to Kaber's message, Pseudo just pushes a message directly to his comlink saying, "It's big money on the table. You're the one who makes these calls, not me."
All right. But yeah, so I'll just say to Mr. Johnson that yeah, we're very interested. What sort of remuneration are we looking for, or are we looking at rather?
We'll be looking at, and he looks at you four, and you can see the gears turning in his head. That you said for a start, you realize you were very interested. You turned up late, and you were kind of being weird earlier on with your hands just randomly typing in AR, which is kind of rude considering you've got someone in front of you who you came to a meeting with.
What?
We'll pay you 4,000 up front and 8,000 when the job is done.
This isn't a 2-bit operation that we've got going here. Like, you're asking us to knock over a Lone Star van transporting a prisoner. That's going to be some heavy stuff. I mean, That's not a very big payout. I'd be expecting double that.
Make a persuasion check. At -2.
Because of your hand dancing earlier on.
And +2 for first impressions.
Yes.
Because I'm just so goddamn
So Kaber has
gorgeous.
this quality called first impressions, meaning he gets +2 die anytime he meets someone for the first time.
Bloody gorgeous elves.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hits. Let me roll mine.
Oh wow,
What's your limit on that?
probably around 6 or 5.
For social, my social limit is 9.
Oh wow.
It's based on
Holy
essence,
shit.
and he's got full essence.
That's why I'm here, guys.
My essence is kind of gnawed on. It's a
Would you
little
like to
ugly.
use any edge, Kaber?
Do I want to use any edge? I got. Yes, I would like to use an edge to reroll my failures.
Okay, so basically, edge is like a luck type point for those of you at home. It allows you to re-roll failures and do a few other things. So effectively, 6 out of 14. That means Kaber's going to be rolling 8. Currently, it's 6 versus 5, which is a win for Kaber, but only just.
Yep.
That's another 3 successes. That makes it 9 versus 5. So you've got a 4 net hits.
Yeah.
He looks up at you after thinking hard. Okay. 2 grand, each of you up front. Another 2.5 grand to each of you when the job is done.
All right, we'll go with that.
He nods. Excellent. If you have any issues or need any more help, guidance, or anything, call this comm code. Please do not try to bother me with trivialities. But if you do need something desperate, call this number. Otherwise, I'll expect you to call when you have the person in question.
No problem.
Excellent. The current police transport is estimated for 3 a.m. on Friday. Currently for you guys, it is a Monday.
Oh, wow.
And he sends you a small data burst which contains a route plan.
All right.
Okay. Well, I look forward to doing business with you, Kaber.
All right, thanks. Let's get going.
He nods to the rest of you as you get up.
The moment it seems that the meeting is wrapping up, Pseudo just climbs to his feet and starts going towards the door. He doesn't go through it, but he's standing ready to go through.
The human,
Eagerly
the human with the
waiting to
troll
go through.
gets up, walks towards the door, opens the door for you.
Pseudo goes straight out.
Okay.
Pseudo's like a broken robot without the Matrix.
I know, he's so sad. I feel bad right now.
Okay.
I'm going to put my glass back on the table and say thanks for the drink and head out.
He nods to you, and you leave.
Yeah,
Without much
stand up
incident.
and nod when he acknowledges, and I walk
I'm
out to
going
behind the
to-
troll.
As we're leaving, I'm going to put my hand on Pug,
Oh, God.
and I'm going to cast Intoxication.
Okay.
Why?
This fucking elf.
We almost made it without any shenanigans.
Pug has to resist with, what is it, willpower?
Oh,
For
God.
Intoxication.
I've only got 2 for that.
It's counterspelling plus body.
Body, okay.
Oh.
That's a lot better for you.
Yeah.
Do I roll with a -1 because I don't have counterspell?
No, you just roll flat body. Effectively, you don't have to counterspell it. Someone else could help you by counterspelling it, but you've got no one on your team to counterspell.
Oh, jeez. There's no need for this. There's no need.
You need to roll it as a shadow dice roll rather than using the...
Gotcha.
But that is still 3 hits, so...
3 successes.
You feel this odd sensation come over you. It's vaguely like being slightly drunk for like a split fraction of a second. But you're fine.
Resisted.
You realize that Caleb probably tried to do something to you when he touched you. You're not sure exactly what.
Just smack his stupid, silly hand off me.
Okay.
Pseudo's waiting for you outside. His boots are on.
He's already got his shoes on. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's just stood there
like that.
waiting for you.
Okay. The dwarf on the VIP door gives you lot a bit of a look, particularly Kaber. You head downstairs. Music's still blasting away.
But collect my gun.
Okay, as you go to collect your gun, you see Kevin, the owner of the club, watching from a distance.
Oh, he noticed you have money.
You get the job, did you?
He doesn't say anything. He's just watching from one of the upstairs balconies.
As we walk out.
He doesn't
He's
seem
gotta
to
beat
acknowledge
that
it other
horse,
than just
man.
making sure he has eye contact with you.
Do you have the what brand of comlink was it, and what icon does Kevin have? Or rather, what icon is on it if it's just standard?
The icon Kevin has is of someone in a sort of long, sparkling coat for his persona. The icon is just a default icon for that comlink. It's a Sony rating 5 comlink, whatever their latest brand of comlink is.
Sony Emperor, I think.
They have many in their line. I think the Sony Emperor isn't a 5 though.
Oh. I'll remember. I'll just make a note that it's the Sony 5.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
You exit. Nothing happens. No incident. You pick up your hold-up pistol, Kaber. There is a note with it.
Right.
As you pick it up, a little AR tag appears in your vision. It says, "Please do not bring guns into my establishment again."
Fucking Kevin.
He learned his lesson last time. He didn't ask
Well.
enough questions.
So the holdouts he needs to be worried about is the fucking grenade launchers.
We turned his backyard into like Fallujah. It was a mess.
Yeah, for everyone watching, they let off 2 underslung grenade launchers directly hit and blew up a minibus. It was populated with bad guys directly outside the back alley of the club.
After we said there'd be no trouble and everything was just gonna be fine.
Don't forget all the
Promised there'd be
suppression
no
fire.
trouble.
We told him they shot first, but he didn't want to hear it. He's being unreasonable.
Well, when they shot first,
Yeah.
they were shooting up his joint.
We were protecting the club in reality.
Exactly.
We should be rewarded.
The grenades all went away from the club.
Yeah, that's...
It's more parallel to the club, but then away once they got to the corner.
However, the bits of bad guys were propelled at high velocity towards the club and stained the walls of the club. On a
He's got a
busy,
heaven janitor.
busy weekend night.
I think he's more
Kevin had
worried
to
about
get
the grenades going off,
complete-
the cops being called, and the fact that the bad guys were firing approximately 100 rounds of ammunition at you and painting the back wall of the club with bullet holes.
Yes.
We
That-
can't
that
help
might
that
have
we're
been it.
popular.
Yeah. So you leave the club. You now get your job, which is to intercept a van and pull someone by the name, which is you've been told is a fake sin, Valentin Koslov, from the back and hand him over to someone or other after making a phone call. This is basically the meat part of the run. They have had the meat. Now it's time to do legwork.